Hello everybody, Killon here, and today I will be doing with Deku has Bond's Power, part 27. So in the last part, Bakugou was basically captured by the League of Villains. Now, continuing the story, after failing to save Bakugou, Deku would have went back to the base, and after some time, Class 1A would have been taken to the hospital, with Deku being fine since he is immortal and all, but they would still make him stay there, because the doctors there still needs to run some tests on Deku to see if he's truly okay or not, which he is. And after those tests, Kirishima would have told Deku that they should go and find Bakugou themselves, with Deku getting out of the bed he's in and saying, "No, you guys shouldn't really go and find Bakugou." "What? Why? He's our friend. We need to save him." "Actually, no we don't, since I'm the one that knows him the longest, and from the very first day I met him, he is strong, so he will be fine. Also, the heroes are already on the case, so if we do go there, we'll be just in the way." While Deku was saying that, he would be thinking, "Sorry guys, but I can't let you get into the mess I made. I was the one that caused this, and I'll be the one to resolve it." As he would leave, using Zero Sign, he would follow All Might to a police station, him listening to the whole strategy meeting, and continuing to follow All Might, them arriving at the villain's hideout, with the rest of the raid being the same, since Deku, knowing that All Might is, well, there, everything should go just as the plan. But he continues to stay there just to make sure nothing is, well, wrong. But that was when All For One would make his move, him using one of his quirks, which I believe is called wrapping or something like that. You know, the quirk that creates that black liquid, which can teleport things, as the Nomus would come out of that black liquid and attacking the heroes, as that black liquid would consume Bakugou, with Deku rushing in to try and save Bakugou. But whenever he tried to go and touch Bakugou, he would immediately realize that he forgot to turn off Zero Sign. So he just basically goes through Bakugou, with Bakugou being taken to, well, in front of All For One. But whenever Bakugou was consumed by that black liquid, All Might would have jumped out of the villain's hideout. Deku, seeing that, he would have followed All Might, him trying his best to keep up with All Might's speed. And after about 20 seconds, All Might would arrive, him clashing with All For One, with Deku also running in while gasping for air, him thinking, "Seriously, All Might is just too fast. Damn it, why am I so stupid?" Him looking over to see that the League of Villains and Bakugou is, well, there, with Bakugou trying to escape, him firing an explosion right behind Spinner, this hitting Spinner in the back, as this would also send Bakugou flying back, him turning around and blasting another explosion towards the ground, this sending Bakugou flying to the sky, but before he can escape, this is when Magni would have used his quirk to drag Bakugou back onto the ground, with Bakugou hitting the ground, and whenever he did, Mr. Compress would have rushed in, him trying to put his hand on Bakugou, but right before that, Bakugou would have, well, disappeared. Mr. Compress being confused, as Bakugou would have been confused as well, since he is right in front of Mr. Compress, him looking around to see Deku gasping for air. Him being even more confused, he would have said, Deku? Oh hi, Kachan. What, what did you do? Nothing much. I just ran 5 kilometers in 20 seconds. With Deku extending his hand, Bakugou grabbing it and getting back up, him saying, Okay, how did you even get here? Oh, that. Easy. I just followed All Might. Oh, so that's why you ran 5 kilometers in 20 seconds. Huh, stupid Deku trying to keep up with All Might. Oh, spare me. I came here just as fast as All Might. Oh, really? Then why didn't you use Zero Sign when you saw me? Yeah, the thing is, I didn't know where you are. That's why I looked around. Dude, I'm the guy with explosions. How do you miss me? Maybe at the time you didn't use explosions. Uh, fair point. So, what do we do now? Well, from the way I see it, we have 2 options. 1. We just walk out of here. And 2. Let me guess. We fight our way out of here. Well, basically that. So what's your choice, explosive dork? Huh, you already know what I would choose, bandit nerd. Okay then, Explosion King. Who are you gonna choose? Of course the ones who try to kidnap me, undead Bon. Alright then, Kachan. Do you need help with that? A little won't hurt. As Deku would have used Physical Hunt, with the members of the League of Villains falling onto the ground exhausted, them being confused. Deku saying, Don't worry, I only took half. As Deku would have deactivated Zero Sign for Bakugou, with Bakugou rushing in to throw an explosion towards the League of Villains, them being even more confused because Bakugou just disappeared and reappeared again. And while that was happening, All Might would have been confused since he thought Bakugou left, him letting his guard down and being smacked across the face by All For One, this sending him flying back into a wall. All Might knowing that even though he is completely healed by Deku, he is still losing power, him being in the state where he was about to lose his buffed form, or well, his hero form. But this is when he would have heard Deku say, Hey All Might, wanna switch out? All Might, being confused, would have said, Young Bon, why are you here? I'm just here to give you a hand, as he explains his plan to All Might. While Deku was doing that, All For One would have went over to Kurogiri's body, him force activating his quirk and opening a portal, him also telling Shigaraki that it is time to retreat, with All For One force activating Maglene's quirk, him basically taking everybody through the portal. Bakugou seeing that would have tried to charge in to attack All For One, but before he can do that, this is when he would have been pulled back, him being confused as he would have been pulled right next to Deku, with Deku explaining the plan to Bakugou, Bakugou understanding and following the plan, them extending out their hand as All Might would have said, Fine, switch out, with All Might hitting both of their hands, All For One being confused. But this is when he would have dropped to the ground, him gasping for air, with him looking back up to see Deku standing right in front of him, as Deku would have kicked All For One straight in the face, this sending All For One flying up into the air, and whenever he did, he would have been met by an explosion to the back, him being sent flying back onto the ground, as a light blue whip would have wrapped around his waist, him being swinged through multiple buildings, with Deku retracting his web corchos, him extending out his other hand and using Snatch, as he pulls All For One out of that building, and also into Bakugou, with Bakugou using both of his hands, he would have fired a giant explosion, this hitting All For One point blank and sending him flying back again. Bakugou asking, So is that it? Of course not. Trust me, I got it from experience. With All for One getting back up as he would have fired multiple air pressures, or well, wind pressure. This going straight for Bakugou and Deku. Deku pushing Bakugou away and saying, Kachan, go! Bakugou firing explosions towards the ground to get out of the way. But Deku, well, let's just say that those wind pressure went straight through him. This making him go on one knee and spit out blood. With Bakugou seeing that, he would have, well, gotten angry, even though he knows that Deku is fine. Him blasting straight for All for One and firing an explosion. But All for One would have used his quirk, him using that black liquid to transfer the explosion to, well, in front of Deku. Deku being hit by the explosion, with Bakugou's hand being grabbed by All for One, him also grabbing Bakugou by the face, him saying, Say goodbye to your quirk, Bakugou Katsuki. But before he can actually take Bakugou's quirk, his hand would have been pulled from Bakugou's head and to the side, him being confused as Deku would have just walked off the smoke, him still having those holes through his, well, entire body. As those holes would start to close up, All for One being surprised as he would fall onto the ground gasping for air again, him being even more confused. Deku saying, So, Explosion King, would you like to do the honors? Of course, Undead Bond. As Bakugou would have slapped All for One in the face with an explosion. This sending All for One flying into another building. After that, Bakugou would have fired another explosion to send himself towards Deku, him stopping right next to Deku as All for One would have gotten out of the rubble, him being extremely pissed off because he is being beaten up by two kids, or well, teenagers, him yelling, I had enough! You are going to die here! Him creating his All Might killing weapon, Deku smirking and saying, Copycat, did you really think you're the only one that can do that? Him transferring the energy he stole from All for One into his right hand, with his right hand buffing up a lot, with All for One rushing in to try and kill Deku, as both of their giant fists would clash, Deku being pushed back as his giant arm would start to burst out blood. All for One saying, Any last words? It's a trap. What? Bakugou saying, You forgot someone. Him blasting All for One straight in the face. This sending All for One flying back, as Bakugou would have said, Did you seriously have to make that reference? Oh, come on, Kachan, he looks like Darth Vader. Well, you're not wrong, but now is really not the time. With Deku's hand going back to what it normally looks like, it healing within seconds. Deku and Bakugou looking over to All for One, them seeing that All for One is, well, still very angry, him yelling, You are going to pay for that! As both Deku and Bakugou would have just pointed their hands towards, well, All for One. All for One being confused as he would turn around, him being faced with a United States of Smash, which promptly knocks him out. Now, after the fight, All Might would have still reverted back into his skinny form, with the police coming in to arrest All for One and, well, Deku and Bakugou, since they did use their quirks without a hero license. But before they can, this is when Scouchy would have just told them to, well, take care of All for One and that he can take care of those two, which those policemen does, as Scouchy would walk towards Deku and Bakugou, him saying, Well, looks like you got paperwork to do, Bon. Again? How many times have I done it? Twice? Wait, really? him counting his fingers and saying, "Oh yeah, it is twice. Never mind." Bakugou saying, "Wait, this is only your second time? What's so surprising about it?" "Dude, you've been a bandit for at least 2.5 years." Scouchy being confused and saying, "Wait, you are?" "Yeah, about that." Bakugou saying, "You didn't told him about it?" "First things first, Kachan, we are not that close." Bakugou smiling and saying, "Huh, suck on that." Scouchy saying, "Oh, you wanna play, Bakugou? We'll play. Let's go and have a chat with your mom." Bakugou putting his hand on his face and saying, "Oh frick, I have to deal with that old hag." "At least you have a mom." "Oh, shut up, Deku. We all know your mom died when you were 4. Yeah, she did. Are you happy, Kachan?" A bit." Deku getting angry and saying, "You know, Kachan, sometimes I just want to punch you in your perfect teeth." Bakugo smiling and saying, "And sometimes, Deku, I want to freeze you alive." "Oh, you wanna fight, Kachan?" "Oh yes, I do, Deku. Come fight me, right here, right now." As All Might would have said, "That's enough, both of you." With Deku and Bakugo saying, "Yes, All Might, sorry, All Might." Now it would have been the next day, with Aizawa and All Might going from home to home, telling everyone that UA is turning into a boarding school, with all of the students arriving at UA and going into their rooms, them unpacking their stuffs, basically moving in, which would have took them about 1 day to finish. And the next day, Aizawa would have told Class 1A that they would be training for the Provisional Hero License exam, with Midnight, Cementos, and Ectoplasma walking into the classroom to help Class 1A train, with Class 1A changing into their hero costumes and starting to train for the Hero License exam, with them, just as usual, creating some special moves. Now, this will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. That will be amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!